Lucci, and we are back with another reaction. Now today, I got a spooky killer in Manila. We got a viral one. It's called Keeper. Now this one, it's about a female who basically got like some dark ass entity type, like waiting for her presence, waiting on her arrival, has been waiting for her, hunting for her. You know what I mean? I've never seen this movie, so we're about to experience it for the first time together. Thank you for tapping in and tuning in with your boy KM Lucci on the KM Lucci Reactions. If you're new to the channel, go ahead, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you see every time I drop some new. Now let's get it.
She thought the vacation would heal her, only to be drawn into an eternal curse. The story begins by introducing Malcolm, a 40-year-old doctor with a refined taste in art, and Liz, a talented painter in her early 30s. Their relationship started from Malcolm's admiration for Liz's artwork, which eventually grew into a romantic bond between them. After being together for a year, they decided to celebrate their anniversary by taking a vacation to a cabin owned by Malcolm's family, located
Sound like some Titanic love, all right.
deep in the forest.
Call me sometime, okay?
Before leaving, Liz told her close friend Maggie about the vacation plan with Malcolm. From the beginning, Maggie had felt that something about Malcolm seemed off. She was suspicious of the fact that Malcolm, despite being mature, wealthy, and well-established, was still unmarried. Maggie suspected that he might be hiding a big secret, possibly having another family, and that this trip could merely be a cover for an affair. She warned Liz to be cautious. However, blinded by her love for Malcolm, Liz dismissed Maggie's concerns and placed her complete trust.
So ain't nothing wrong with having a friend like Maggie. She just got her best intentions, you feel me? You do gotta be careful because some people be doing some weird stuff or having some weird secrets, you know what I'm saying?
Beige before.
Like for all we know,
Is it beige?
It is. It is beige.
like for all we know, he could be a part of a cult. You feel me? This nigga like, it ain't no telling. Cause remember, I told you it's a secret entity that's haunting this bitch or waiting for this bitch arrival or whatever, right? So we don't know what's going on yet. This is just the intro. The nigga done fell in love with her from the paintings and all that stuff there. So we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna see what we getting
What does
ourselves
a
into.
person wear to a cabin?
The next day, their journey began. Their car drove deeper into the forest, passing through quiet, isolated roads until they finally arrived at their destination. The cabin stood silently, surrounded by dense trees, a calm lake, and the soothing sound of a nearby waterfall. For an artist like Liz, the place felt like a visual paradise. As Liz explored the cabin, she noticed a cake placed on the dining table.
Damn.
Malcolm casually explained that it was a welcome gift prepared by the cabin's caretaker.
No.
Liz continued exploring toward the back of the property, where she
don't want
noticed
none of that
another
cake.
separate building behind the main house. Malcolm explained that it belonged to his cousin Darren. However, Malcolm admitted that he did not get along well with Darren, describing him as a rude and unpleasant person. Since arriving,
Yeah, I don't want none of that cake. That nigga, his cousin that touched that motherfucking cake, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Hell nah, we good.
Liz had been
We
delighted
good.
by the atmosphere of the
We
cabin.
good.
To express her joy, she drew a heart symbol on the glass window. Later, Liz pampered herself by soaking in the bathtub. Unbeknownst to her, an unseen finger traced a heart symbol nearby. However, Liz did not witness it
fuck?
directly. She only heard faint sounds coming from behind the wall, which she assumed were made by Malcolm. That evening, their romantic dinner atmosphere was suddenly ruined by the arrival of Darren and his girlfriend, Minka.
Cousin Darren?
Transylvania, right, babe?
However, Minka barely spoke, as she did not understand English. Darren then pulled Malcolm aside into
He bought that.
another room
He
for a
bought that.
serious conversation,
He
leaving
bought that.
Liz
She
and
don't know
Minka
English.
alone at the dining table. It was at that moment
Minka
that
Russian.
something strange happened.
He was on the
Minka,
black
who had been
market.
silent until then, suddenly gestured toward the cake on the table, pointing at it while making a disgusted expression.
Tastes like shit.
Indirectly,
Oh,
she was
shit.
warning Liz not to eat the cake, implying that something was wrong with it. Not long after, Darren returned and immediately asked Minka to leave with him, claiming that he wanted to
So Minka, nah, hell nah. She knew good English right there. What that mean?
give Malcolm and
What
Liz
that
some
mean? Give us
private
an
time
insight.
together.
Give us some insight.
After they left, Malcolm tried to restore the romantic mood by serving the chocolate cake as dessert. Remembering Minka's warning, Liz tried to refuse. She lied, saying that she had disliked chocolate since childhood. However, Malcolm insisted, saying that he had ordered the cake especially for her and asked her to at least take a small bite.
He up to something.
Feeling uncomfortable
He's
turning
up
him
to
down, Liz finally agreed to try it. The moment the cake touched her tongue, Liz immediately understood what Minka had meant. The taste was awful. Yet, strangely, despite how unpleasant it was, Liz continued eating the entire slice until it was finished.
Don't tell me she done ate. I hope she didn't eat nothing nasty.
Tastes like shit.
That night, while Liz was asleep, she experienced a nightmare that felt disturbingly real. In her dream, she saw a woman performing a strange ritual dance in front of a waterfall. As Liz looked closer, she realized that the woman's face looked exactly like her own. Liz jolted awake from the dream. In the darkness of the room, she turned on her phone's flashlight and walked toward the living area. Unaware, another presence followed closely behind her. Liz continued down the dark hallway toward the kitchen until her steps stopped in front of the chocolate cake she had eaten earlier. As she looked at the cake, Liz felt an overwhelming urge to eat it again. Unable to resist the craving, she began devouring the cake greedily. Something unknown had taken hold of her, driving her to finish the entire cake, even though she knew how terrible it tasted.
What the fuck?
She eating, bro, what is she eating?
The next morning, Minka was seen frantically searching for a phone signal. She wanted to book a ride and leave the place as soon as possible, unable to stand staying there any longer. In the midst of the quiet forest atmosphere, a sudden woman's scream pierced the air.
Damn.
Terrified, Minka froze and quickly took cover behind a large tree. Then, in the blink of an eye, something horrifying attacked her.
Oh, shit.
Minka was violently dragged away by an unseen force, an entity of the forest that had yet to reveal its true form. On the other side, Malcolm, who had just woken up, began preparing breakfast. Meanwhile, Liz sat quietly with an empty stare, absent-mindedly sketching in her notebook. Noticing Liz's strange behavior, Malcolm asked what was wrong, but she only responded with a silent nod.
He knows what's
Malcolm's
up.
attention then shifted to the sketches Liz had drawn, images of women's faces twisted in pain and screaming. The drawings were based on the nightmare Liz had experienced the night before. Afterward, Malcolm invited Liz to take a walk to the riverside. When they arrived at the waterfall, Liz observed the river and realized how eerily similar it was to the one she had seen in her dream. At that moment, she felt something strange, as if she had once lived in that place long ago. Suddenly, Liz was struck by a vivid vision from the past. She saw a pregnant woman performing a ritual dance in front of the waterfall. Then, two armed men appeared, approaching her. Near the riverbank, Liz noticed a pendant lying among the rocks. Without thinking, she picked it up and placed it around her neck, as if it had always belonged to her. After returning to the cabin, Malcolm suddenly received an emergency call. He told Liz that one of his patients had woken up from a coma and that he had to go to the hospital immediately. Citing the urgency of the situation, Malcolm left in his car, leaving Liz alone in the isolated forest.
I'm really sorry.
Oh.
Unable to stop him, Liz had no choice but to stay behind by herself in the cabin. To ease her loneliness, Liz tried calling Maggie. However, their conversation quickly turned into an argument. Maggie once again brought up her suspicions, insisting that Malcolm had not left for work at all, but had gone to meet his real family. Feeling cornered and hurt, Liz angrily ended the call.
Some fortress or...
No, hardly.
Don't want to say it.
Yeah, so don't.
Listen, I'm just telling it to you straight.
That sucks. Fuck you.
When Liz returned to the kitchen to get a drink of water, she was startled to see Minka standing right in front of her. Confused, Liz asked when she had come in. Her sense of reality began to unravel when she realized there were two Minkas standing there. Minka then told Liz not to make any noise, warning that it might wake the children. The words left Liz deeply confused. She had no idea which children Minka was referring to. Minka then reached out her hand, forcing Liz to witness a vision from the past. In the vision, Liz saw a scene in which a pregnant woman was being executed.
And that wasn't allowed.
Liz jolted awake in shock, realizing that her encounter with Minka had only been a dream. As she turned toward the garage beside the cabin, Liz was startled to see what looked like a human body wrapped in plastic. Her heart raced as she focused her gaze, but upon closer inspection through a pair of binoculars, she realized that it was nothing more than a pile of plastic trash.
Hell no.
Before Liz could calm herself, Darren suddenly showed up at the cabin. At first, Liz tried to refuse him politely, but Darren kept pushing, arguing that the cabin also belonged to his family. It soon became clear that Darren had come with the intention of having fun with Liz, bringing alcohol along with him. Feeling deeply uncomfortable, Liz excused herself to the bathroom, trying to think of a way to escape the situation.
Yeah,
For no clear reason, Darren picked up a knife from the kitchen. He then headed upstairs. While Liz was still in the bathroom, she heard footsteps approaching. But whatever happened outside remained unseen by her. Moments later, Darren was found dead, his head gruesomely severed from his body.
What the fuck?
Inside the bathroom, Liz felt the atmosphere suddenly fall into an unsettling silence. She gathered her courage and stepped outside, only to find that Darren was nowhere to be seen. Up to that moment, Liz had no idea what had happened to him, as his body had vanished without a trace. Liz grabbed her phone and tried calling Malcolm, but his phone was turned off. Just then, she heard a strange noise coming from the kitchen sink, the grinding sound of a jammed garbage disposal. Hesitantly, Liz reached into the sink drain and pulled out whatever was stuck inside. To her shock, it was Darren's wristwatch.
Hell no.
The discovery left Liz deeply confused. She could not understand why Darren's watch would be inside the sink. At the same time, fleeting shadows began to dart across the room. Suddenly,
Which I think it is. Do you think that she hallucinated that she was in the bathroom the whole time, but really she killed him or something? Which I think I don't know what to expect off this. I don't
a
even know what
mysterious
entity was waiting
figure
for.
appeared,
You feel
its
me?
head covered in
What's playing with
plastic.
you? Like what's
The
playing
creature
with you?
stared at Liz while forming a heart symbol with its fingers.
What was in that cake, bruh? What was in that goddamn cake? What was in the cake, man? Minka told her. Minka told her. She don't speak no English like that. Minka told her it tastes like shit. She ate the whole cake, bro. What was in the cake, man? What was in the cake?
Overwhelmed by the growing strangeness of the house, Liz decided to leave and tried calling Maggie to pick her up.
Yeah.
However, the weak signal made it difficult for Liz to reach her. Not long after, Malcolm returned from the city. Instead of feeling relieved, Liz grew even more uneasy. From the upstairs window, she watched him arrive, noticing how casually he entered the house, even humming to himself. When Malcolm came inside, Liz immediately poured out her fear and frustration. She told him everything about
he leave her
Darren's
go to
sudden
the
visit,
city? Why he
the
go to the city and
strange
listen?
discovery of
What
his
the-
watch in the
that-
sink,
yeah.
and the terrifying sight of a
trust that
figure
nigga.
with its head covered in plastic.
He seemed pretty fucking no. You're a fucking plastic bag.
I don't understand. I bet.
Malcolm tried to calm her down, assuring her that everything was fine and that there was nothing to worry about. He promised to check the house thoroughly. After making sure the place seemed safe, Malcolm suggested that they have a drink together to help ease the tension and relax. While they were drinking, Liz asked about the patient who had supposedly been in a coma. With a sorrowful expression, Malcolm said that the patient had passed away. This directly contradicted what Liz had observed earlier, when Malcolm returned home humming as if nothing had happened. At that moment, Liz realized that Malcolm had been lying to her and that he had never gone to the hospital at all. Using the excuse of going to the bathroom to avoid him, Liz stepped away. As if the universe itself were helping her uncover the truth, she discovered
he
an
was somewhere
old
else for shit
photograph
show.
lying on the floor. The photo showed a family from the 1950s, and the man in the picture looked strikingly similar to Malcolm. Liz was certain that the man was Malcolm. Strangely, his face in the photo looked exactly the same as it did now, as if he had never aged.
Cause he be killing them. You feel me? He's a warlock. He's a witch. You know what I'm saying? He a part of some. What we got going on with Malcolm, man? What we got going on with Malcolm?
Armed with this
spells villain all
undeniable
over
evidence,
him.
Liz returned to confront Malcolm,
smell it.
demanding to
Yeah.
know what he had been hiding. Realizing that his lies had been exposed, Malcolm finally confessed that the man in the photograph was indeed him. He revealed that he had been alive for 2 centuries. Malcolm explained that both he and Darren had been granted immortality. They could neither age nor die. All of this began 200 years ago when Malcolm and a younger Darren captured a pregnant witch who was performing a ritual at the waterfall. The witch looked very much like Liz, and she was the same figure Liz had often seen in her dreams. The pregnant witch later gave birth to her children inside a pigsty. However, the beings she delivered were not human children, but demonic offspring with horrifying forms. Malcolm then shot and killed the witch, but he allowed her children to live.
But the what?
Nah, them kids ate them niggas.
From that moment, a cursed pact was formed between them and the demons. They were granted eternal life, unable to age or die, on the condition that they would provide food for the demons, and that food was women. For 2 centuries, Malcolm and Darren hunted women, lured them with love, and brought them to this cabin to be sacrificed. The cake Liz had eaten was part of the preparation ritual before the demons consumed their victims. Malcolm confessed that he truly loved Liz because she was different from any other woman he had ever known. However, in order to maintain his immortality, he was willing to sacrifice her. He chose eternal life over love and decided to offer Liz to the demons. After that, Malcolm left her alone, allowing the creatures to come for her. Liz tried to escape, but the house was completely sealed. She ran in every direction, desperately searching for a way out. From the surrounding darkness, grotesque figures began to emerge. Liz stumbled and fell, cornered with nowhere left to run. Yet instead of attacking or tearing her apart, the creatures approached her gently. One of them then revealed a preserved jar containing the severed head of the witch from long ago. At that moment, Liz realized the truth. She was the reincarnation of that very witch, the mother of these creatures. Since her arrival at the cabin, the beings had recognized her presence. They had tried to remind her of her past life through vision.
This is the what's been waiting for her arrival and all that stuff. So now we get into the meat and potatoes. That's crazy, bro. Let me hear it.
Dreams,
Let me hear it.
the heart symbols, and the pendant that once belonged to her.
What are you? Your children. I don't like you.
Liz finally understood the deep bond she shared with them. After centuries of waiting, the demon children had at last been reunited with their mother, welcoming her home with reverence and devotion. Meanwhile, in another room, Malcolm heard the commotion slowly fade away, which he took as a sign that the demons had finished devouring Liz.
Nah, they about to kill
Feeling
him.
at ease, he fell asleep, convinced that his immortality had been secured once again. However, when Malcolm woke up, he found himself hanging upside down from a tree deep in the forest. His body felt weak and in pain. He looked at his hands and saw that they were now wrinkled and withered. His immortality had been stripped away because the witch had returned, meaning Malcolm was no longer needed to provide sacrifices. The pact between Malcolm and the demons had come to an end. In an instant, Malcolm's body rapidly aged to his true age.
And his brother, them kids killed his brother too.
Then Liz appeared, her eyes now pitch black, radiating the same dark aura as the creatures. She held a piece of the ritual cake, the very same cake Malcolm had once used to lure his victims. With a cold smile, Liz forced the cake into Malcolm's helpless mouth, then plunged his head into a container filled with honey.
Olivia!
What the fuck?
What did they do to you?
The vengeance that had waited for 2 centuries was finally fulfilled.
Damn.
The long ritual that had claimed countless victims was never solely meant to feed the demons, but to prepare for the return of their mother. Malcolm and Darren had merely been tools, used to ensure the survival of the demon children until their mother's resurrection. The film ends with the absolute triumph of darkness, leaving behind a haunting message.
Crazy.
There are ancient forces that humanity can never truly conquer, no matter how hard they try.
Damn, y'all, I don't know what to think about that movie. That shit had me feeling like, what's it called? Like, You ever seen Hereditary? You know what I'm saying? It gotta kind of feel like that, bro. I kind of feel a little sketched out after watching that one. That one right there fucked me up.
Big facts.
Y'all let me know what y'all think about it in the comments, man. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have some more ones to watch. Of course, stay tapped in and tuned in. If you're new to the channel, again, go ahead, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you see every time I drop some new